Welcome to Tales from the Golden Imp. I am Joe Craig, the Impish Skald. Our story begins where it all began in the little city of Malleton. We will be following the story of the Bringers of the Calm, with this the first episode of the Calm Bringer cycle. Welcome to Tales from the Golden Imp. Episode 1, Scent of Danger. The wind howled. The wind always howled in the Dragontooth Mountains. As harvest time rolled in, the chill of winter was not far behind it. A lone sentinel stood in the dark. Her armor reflected the fire that was used to keep her warm. Jaina looked out over the battlements, knowing that the polished armor, the blue and silver vestments, and the glaive were designed to ensure she could perform her call. A war priest had to be seen. As another stiff wind whistled through the sharp spires, Jaina was thankful that she had swapped posts with Kieran tonight. This stone fortification was not much farther south, but the 3 miles that separated the two outposts, the altitude changed considerably. Kieran was a good lad, Jaina thought to herself, but needed to learn where he stood in the balance of duty and matters of the heart. It was a painful lesson at times. The clop of boot on stone brought her back to the moment. A gravelly voice called from the road. "Where's that whelp of a man, Kieran? Wasn't he supposed to be at watch tonight? He having heart troubles again?" A slight hiss escaped as he laughed. "Don't tell me it's catching. Not like you to be taken by surprise this early in the day." The newcomer shuffled up to the fire. Jaina was tall for a woman, but this man was hulking to say the least. Easily 2.5 head taller than she. Maris warmed his clawed hands with a natural blackness around the knuckles. "No, old friend, it's not catching. And early in the night, don't you mean?" Jaina joined him by the brazier. Digging into her belt pouch, she tossed 2 small, gnarled bones over the flames. The big man was quicker than most would have thought, and snatched them out of the air. "Traded old Brian for them. Figured you could add them to your collection." Maris turned them over in his hands, smelling them. The fire lighting the hood that he wore almost always. His sharp features and long face seemed to be a bit sharper, a bit longer in the firelight. The small black scales around his cheekbones, almost a natural blush, enhanced the paleness of his skin. His slitted eyes focused on the small bones, and the sharp-toothed smile crossed his face. "These pitiful ones I treasure the most. This goblin, poor thing, died of old age. That's the only way they get so twisted and knobby. No afterlife feast for this one. No violent death to bring 'em home, witnessed by Kaelin. Oh, Kaelin probably didn't even claim this one and let Necropus keep it. Thank ye. I'll add these to the others." Patting his chest before pulling out the hide pouch that he kept against his skin. Dropping the 2 small finger bones in amongst the other bones, all quickly done, careful, quiet. Out of reflex, he looked to the left and to the right, beyond the edges of the firelight to ensure his treasures were safe. Though friends, Jaina was reminded of the predator that Morris was descended from. Morris was dragonkin, black dragonkin at that. Without a doubt, he would kill to keep this treasure safe. The moment passed. With another howl, the wind beat against the flames, attempting to win that constant war. Once that skirmish was over, though, Maris lowered his pack to the ground and took down a roll of leather Stained leather the same cerulean as the vestment she bore. It'll take some working and some wearing. That ain't cow skin. No, something a bit thicker than that. Been working at it for a better part of a year. Should do you some good, though. As she took it, she felt the blue leather and caught herself smiling. Didn't think I'd let you get through calming day without a gift now, did ya? Who knows? Might make for a good dress for you. They shared a laugh, knowing a dress would look just as lost on her as it would on him. The blast of wind came from the south this time. As in all mountains, the wind gets all twisted up and lost before it finds where to go. Timbers creaking this way and that. Something of a feeling. It's too large to be kept. For good or for ill, it must be set free. A pure shriek of fear, laughing at your closest friend. The overflowing chalice of that rarest, truest love. Kieran was having heart troubles, but not the ones his friends were speaking of. Oh no, it indeed was a painful lesson, and one that he could no longer learn from. Silenced at his post, tucked away out of sight. He never saw the hand that released the arrow. He never had a chance to give his calming day gift. Still at home, in his bedside table, wrapped in soft leather, Durin had done well. Such a perfect ring for a hand that would have said yes. A calming day proposal that would never be, for a bride that would not know the dawn. A lot was cast, the cords were drawn, fate's web spun. How much would have changed throughout the course of time if it had remained unchanged? Would the alarms have sounded? How would the fight have gone, if any fight at all? At least there was mercy in his end. Kieran's death at the hands of the goblins were quick. A change of post to make a shorter trip home. A shortcut to a ring. A faster path to Alwyn and her brown hair, and her freckled face, to the smile that she would never wear again. Perhaps they will be united in another life, or on the other side. One can always hold out hope. One book ended, another chapter penned. This dancing wind had a purpose. It brought with it something more than a chill. A silent smell brought Maris to his feet, and Jaina just a split second behind to bring her glaive to bear. Smoke in the air. Not smoke from a hearth, a brazier, or a camp. This was the smoke that held the ichor of pitch with it. Leaving leather by her pack while donning her helm. Seconds could not be wasted as she fell into step behind the hunter. His eyes were of more use than torchlight after all. Heartbeats passed like days. The evil in the air was apparent when the first settlement was in sight. The smithy's house up in flames. Door laying broken inward, glass broken, forms laying fell here and there. Goblins, Maris hissed. You go on, this battle seems done. I'll see what I can. Malatin needs you, priest. With a nod, her training kept her from an all-out run. Turning south, she began to pray. Lady Hallis, defender of life, I am your shield, I am your blade. Give blessing to me this hour, this day. Give me your blessing, give me your strength. Guide my feet, my eyes, my heart, and my blade. Let only those that must die this day. Hallis, I praise thy name. South of the outpost, the town of Malatin was enjoying a calming day. Not just any calming day, but the 300-year anniversary to the defeat of Callisto, which brought the calm itself. At the Golden Imp Inn, ale was flowing, the hearth was glowing, and laughter was touched all cheeks. In the center of the bar, the round table sat two outsiders, but you wouldn't have known it by the way the patrons greeted them. Meg messed with her short red hair, trying and failing to contain a laugh, her caramel complexion at odds with the dark-haired man that sat across the table from her. No, not even the slightest. How the hells did you end up here anyway? Pulling his long black hair over his shoulder, Regos and his scruffy face cracked into a grin. Alas, not all around here have the same wonderful tastes. Much like you, actually. Traveling at sea when another traveler just came up to me and said I'd find what I'm looking for if I took the northern road out of town. I kept going north and ended up here. At least the ale's good. But I must find out how she got that mug. Pointing his smoking pipe over to the innkeeper. Running this way and that, darkening blonde hair beyond a mess, with the demands of her finest. And by finest, they meant, give me the stuff I normally can't afford, but definitely not your finest. Vurrin Twil's finest was something that she was saving for a true celebration. She always felt Calming Day was a little hollow. Too many threats remained when the shadows grew long. Sure, the beast went to acting like beasts, but there was something that she could not put her finger on that never quite settled right with the holiday. The mug in question was one setting in a place of honor. The shelf above the bar, this mug was from the legendary Dragon Roof Inn. Throne clay shaped into a dragon with the tail forming the handle. Glazed red, a clay imprint of the inn on the front. This mug meant almost as much to her as her own husband did. It showed that she had been there, and that her ale was good enough to earn the mug. Many tried to pass off another mug as an authentic thing, but anyone would know the difference with just one swallow of ale, beer, or spirit that the place served. Vurrin had earned her mug, and Regos knew that. Here in the middle of nowhere amongst the Dragontooth Mountains, someone with an authentic mug. He had been musing over the fact most of the night, even going so far as dropping a gold crown for a true tankard of what might have been the finest ale he ever drank in his life. Just before Regos continued his thought, he and Meg both snapped toward the door, in a way that told them that indeed they had heard something of note. Without hesitation, they were out of their seats and on the way outside. Regos stroked his scruff, trying to decide what he had best prepare to cast. Both hoped in their heart of hearts that it was just some archery competition, and they were overreacting. Meeting between them had been more than happenstance, and they knew it. Meg reached the door before Regos, forcing the door open against the wind. A gust brought with it smoke and the sound of goblins swarming the sleepy little town. The small horde of green and tan-skinned goblins were setting fire to one of the shops. The thwang was a goblin archer finding his mark against a guard whose hackles were lowered due to the celebrations. The largest of the goblins, a green-skinned one whose eyes were aglow with purple, seemed to be giving the orders. Organized goblins were unusual goblins, to say the least. Some of the other guards had already met the blades of the vanguard that the horde was deploying. Stepping out over a body with an arrow in the throat, Regos began ringing a bell, and he hoped it meant what he thought it meant. 3 good hard rings and a quick duck led to an arrow slamming into the post behind him. 2 seconds into the fight, and he'd already lost Meg to the chaos. For Meg had already found her quarry. Having no love for goblins, she decided to help the nearest group of guards by taking a kukri to a green-skinned throat. She then threw herself to the ground, rolling between another pair of short legs before rising and twisting, her blade finding purchase yet again. Pipe in mouth, Regos stretched out his hands and sent an arcane bolt of energy streaking from his fingers to drop one of the combatants. He rang the bell one last time before finding some high ground. In the center of the carnage, a solitary dwarven miner was trying his best to find his way to freedom. swinging his hammer to the left and to the right, dropping goblin after goblin. Dandros was not going to go quietly into the night. Sweat forming dark rivulets of coal dust on his brow, he was giving himself some room to work now. But the numbers were dead set against him. Just as he surged outwards, the green and silver bubble of teeth and piecemeal armor collapsed back in on him. Another arcane bolt slammed into a goblin at Dandros' side, preventing a blade from skewering him. This tan-skinned goblin growled with a fury that could only be described as pure hatred. The goblin, frothing at the mouth, locked eyes on the spellcaster, with malice on his heart. By this time, the first of the patrons of the Golden Imp had found their way outside and immediately entered the fray. The large purple-eyed goblin called for a counterattack. Regos knew Goblin and didn't think there were words in the language for such an action. And from the looks of confusion on many of the goblinoid faces, many of them agreed with him. They listened, however, and they shifted their focus of their attack to the mass of people filtering out of the inn. This gave Meg a chance to offer Dandros some aid. Pulling him up to his feet, she slammed a viscous red potion in his chest. "Drink!" was the only word that Meg managed before ducking a javelin. Having worked his way up onto a goat shed, Regos could see how bad things really were for this little town. Focusing all of his energy on the javelin thrower, he stretched out a hand, and a small ball of flame formed in his palm. This flame streaked out to end the thrower's existence. From his left, a roar was heard, and the roar vaguely sounded like the goblin words for "Down here!" Looking down in the direction of the roar, Regos locked eyes with the speaker. Those eyes were filled with pure hatred, as if Regos himself had caused all of the woes that this being had ever lived through. "Wizard, catch!" in broken Caldarian, before the small, tan goblin threw his shield at the sorcerer. Catch it he did, straight in the ribcage. His eyes watered with pain. Regos would not let this be the end of his studies, however. He rose to his feet before hearing another roar. With pure instincts from his short years at Verbenham this, Regos stretched out both of his hands, and a blast of myriad of colors flashed between his palms. He was vying for time, and he knew that this is all this particular spell would buy him. Scrambling to his feet, he retorted with a, "I hope you caught that one, mate." Regos' eyes had not yet cleared, but he swore he saw something flipping end over end in his direction. Out of the corner of her eye, Meg saw the truth of the matter. That nasty one was not finished throwing things at the self-proclaimed charming man she was sharing a drink with. The sword plunged into his midsection, sending Regos falling backwards into the goat pen. About that time, a bright flash came from the other side of the battlefield, as a woman's voice could be heard over the tumult. "By the might of Hallis, rally to me!" There in shining armor, helmed, covered in a blue surcoat, Jaina already cutting down a goblin. Her presence was undeniable. Vanguard was overextended, and they had reason to be concerned, for now, Jaina was not the only war priest that had joined the fray. From the east, a squad of 12 armored sentries were charging into the fray to even the odds. Each of them just as undeniable, just as determined as Jaina. The leader of the Goblin Vanguard called for a retreat, knowing that it was late in the calling. This call was echoed by the purple-eyed goblin Garthunk. To home I call thee." The Goblin Vanguard broke, and they ran, but they were overwhelmed by the might of the warriors of Hallis. That left two, Slagg and Rabid Hate. Dandros headed off for Slagg, the leader of the Goblin Vanguard, while Meg ran to the aid of Regos. Foaming at the mouth, this tan-skinned goblin set his sights down on the downed quarry. Crossing the fence, pulling a cruel dagger from his belt, he set to end this wizard's existence. His hand rose and began his descent into the heart of Regos. However, it fell short as a kukri exploded in his throat. Gouts of blood pouring from the wound, Rabid Hate turned on Meg and let out a roar that gurgled around the blood, pulling his short sword as Meg pulled her khopesh. The tan goblin lurched forward as Meg parried, and with that momentum, she moved to remove the head from the body of Rabid Hate. The body collapsed over Regos. Laying there bleeding out, Meg called for aid as she removed the body from atop Regos. The sword suddenly ripped from his stomach with a gout of blood. His body heaved up as Jaina dropped to her knees, placing a hand over the wound. "Not today! Be healed by the might of Hallis!" The wound stitched itself closed, leaving what looked to be a years-old scar on the stomach of Regos. "Not today, Necropus. This one's time is not today." Removing her hand from this freshly healed gut, Regos heaved once more, gasping for air. He jolted upright. By this time, a bucket brigade had already formed to start putting out the flames that were spreading. Some of the priests from the Temple of Hallis pitched in, conjuring gouts of water themselves. It wasn't long before the wounded were being tended and the fires were mostly out. The only building lost in the heart of this town was the cartographer's home. Many a map was lost. But praise Hallis, very few lives, or so they believed. But what would the dawn reveal? Today in the lore corner, we take a look at the Golden Imp. It's where everything really began for me in Calidria, so it's only fitting that we begin right there, where it began. As Vurrin Twil would put it, she ain't much to look at, but hell, she's mine. The Golden Imp is a small tavern with a few rooms to rent upstairs, a holdover from the prior owner who had numerous kids. The common room has bar stools that go along the 8-foot-long bar, and around the place there may be 12 tables filled on a good day. No stage, but always a warm hearth fire burning. The place was built by one Drooping Scar, an odd man to say the least. He built the place for his wife, a very rotund dwarven woman by the name of Suvia Scar. Droopin and Suvia had 12 children, who all worked their way up through the bar until they were of age to find something else to do on their own. The upstairs housed 5 bedrooms, 1 master bedroom and 4 others that the children had to share. Droopin was always poor of health and quite a slight man, and to no one's surprise, one harsh winter he passed away to exposure. After the tribe of Scar were of age and moved off, Suvia wanted to be close to the grandkids, so she looked to sell the place and set herself up. Part of the price was the stable of recipes and instructions on how to fix them. Suvia wouldn't have it any other way. This is where Vurrin and Bailey Twil came in. Vurrin and Bailey found the little town of Malleton very charming. Even though it was small, business was generally always good. They loved the mountains and enjoyed the charm of the town. Vurrin didn't have much, but her heart was in the right place. And after spending some time in the kitchen with Suvia, it was decided the Golden Imp would be going to Vurrin. This was only after Vurrin mastered Suvia's signature, Nifla soup. Vurrin and Bailey have kept up the bar and opened up some of the rooms for rent. The menu has expanded over the years, especially on the side of ales, wines, and spirits, and other alcoholic beverages. Vurrin has a mug above the bar that she's quite proud of. She's visited the Dragon Roof Inn and got the merch to prove it. We shall save the Dragon Roof Inn for another day, but needless to say, the Dragon Roof Inn means a lot to Vurrin. It's a big reason why she wanted to open an inn or a tavern to begin with. She even found her husband there. That's where Vurrin and Bailey met, at this legendary inn. But again, we'll save that for another day. Well, well, travelers. We have started our journey into the world of Calidria. Next time, we'll see how deep these gouges from the Goblin raid goes, and see if we can determine the fate of Durin the blacksmith. We also got to look at the Golden Imp Inn, this podcast namesake. For the patrons, we'll be covering the recipe for making Suvia's Nifla soup in your own kitchen. Nifla soup is a creamy soup that's almost a stew, with dumplings and carrots and potatoes and celery as its core ingredients in a nice broth. It's like a warm hug in a bowl, really. Now, if you wish to support this podcast, subscribe, give it a rating, comment if you would, wherever you find it. If you want to support a bit more and get the recipes of Calidria in your kitchen, as well as additional lore content, please support me over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/thegoldenmpin. Signing up will give you access to our Discord server. I hope to build a great community there. I can only do that with you. So won't you join us in the conversation? And if you want to follow me outside the podcast space, you can find me over on Blue Sky, at Impish Skull. With that said, I am Joe Craig, the Impish Skull. Thank you for listening, and remember, you've been scalded.